How's it going, guys? Voice Reason back from the abyss of no return, bringing you guys not a regular edition, but a special edition video in which I take 3 of my top games of this past year, 2009, and put them up against one another and see which one is the superior video game. And in the end, only one will stand, and in the end, only one will claim the most revered prize in the video game industry, known as the Voice of Reason Game of the Year Award. So without wasting any time, let's see our first finalist. That is Assassin's Creed 2. Now, I'm not quite sure if you guys remember or not, but I actually reviewed the very first Assassin's Creed not too long ago. And one of my main complaints about the whole entire game was the fact that it was very repetitive, and I'm pretty sure everyone can agree with me on this. The side missions as well as the actual missions of the game were very repetitive, and in the long run ultimately hurt the game as well as the experience altogether. So overall, the first Assassin's Creed was a good effort, but there was a lot of room for improvement. And thankfully Ubisoft did just that with their sequel, Assassin's Creed 2. Now, Assassin's Creed 2 starts off where the first one left off. Now, in respect to people who have not played Assassin's Creed 1, I will not spoil anything, but you do go back to where Desmond is escaping, I'll just call them the organization, and quickly hops back into the Animus, the little time porter, the little thing to which Desmond it connects with his ancestors, and this time he connects with his ancestor Ezio, back in Florence, Italy during the Renaissance times, and pretty much undergoes assassinations just like we saw in the first one. However, and this is one of the great new features that everyone loves, which is a very deep variety of assassinations, of missions that make Assassin's Creed 2 a very enjoyable gameplay experience overall, which we have been wanting from Assassin's Creed series for a very long time. Some other key upgrades that Assassin's Creed 2 does so well than its predecessor, Assassin's Creed 1, is the combat system. Within Assassin's Creed 2, you have a more variety of weapons to use, you have more types of assassination techniques and skills to use. The gameplay mechanics have also been tweaked and improved on. I love the fact that you finally feel the same way you felt when the first time you play Prince of Persia. Just the free-flowing, climbing mountains, not mountains, but climbing buildings, jumping across gaps of river, whatever you have. And this sense of feeling just improves on the gameplay mechanics of Assassin's Creed 2. And let's not forget to mention the story. The story is also a very intriguing and probably one of the best stories of this year in any video games thus far.
Guards! He's behind me! You have to stop him!
Break's over, Roach. Let's go.
Next, we have Infinity Ward's sequel to the smash hit war shooter Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I mean, there's not that much to say about an already great franchise based on an already great foundation of gameplay, multiplayer, as well as storytelling. But just briefly describing Modern Warfare 2, it is a sequel to the first Modern Warfare, and it does kind of pick up where the first one left off. It's pretty much the repercussions of killing that special someone you killed off at the end of Modern Warfare. But in terms of story, I thought it was a lot better than the first one. I mean, I was surprised on how well the story held its own weight. And the types of location that you are in, it's a different, now the war has come to us in some ways. You guys are watching right now a little level that takes place in Washington, D.C. Of course, there are some other levels that are kind of controversial. Everyone knows about the airport level. It's really unique gameplay experience, especially for the story mode. You go through it, you beat it, you play it again, and you start to see like, wow, this is a pretty good thought out story. I mean, it's not the best story ever, but for a Call of Duty game, you got to give it credit where it's given. It's a pretty good story. The gameplay mechanics, they are just perfect. If it's not broken, you know, why fix it, you know? So Infinity Ward in terms of their Call of Duty Modern Warfare franchise has always been top-notch in terms of the gameplay mechanics, the types of weaponry, just everything. And let's not forget to mention the multiplayer, which is still premier online multiplayer for both the Xbox 360 as well as the PlayStation 3. I haven't really had that much experience with Call of Duty on Nintendo Wii, but my dear friend DJ Echo says it's pretty kick-ass. And before I finish off, another thing that I really love and like about the Call of Duty game is the sound. The sounds of all the weapons, the sounds of all the guns, and Modern Warfare 2 isn't no different. The sound is just astonishing. The types and different sounds for each and different grenade, weapon, everything. It just sounds so good, and I just love playing Call of Duty on the highest volume I can without my subwoofer popping. But yeah, the sound quality of Modern Warfare 2, no surprise, is also a great treat for any gamer with a surround sound system, that is.
Hurry! You're gonna get to Nikolai's place! Keep moving west! Don't say anything, bud!
Shit.
And last we have Naughty Dog's sequel. Yes, another sequel with a number 2 in it, I just realized. That is Uncharted 2. Now, a sad but true fact about the first Uncharted is the fact that no one actually played it. It was probably one of the most, or in the list of one of the most overlooked next-gen games that had the potential of being Game of the Year. And it actually did win Game of the Year, but it was only for within the PlayStation category. I mean, I for one thought it was Game of the Year worthy, as well as Mario Galaxy, which is when both of them came into our shelves. Anywho, moving along, Uncharted 2 pretty much takes place just like the other two games that I've already mentioned before. It takes place after the first one, and if you guys have played Uncharted, it is a rather adventure, action-packed video game. So with that being said, it kind of feels like the modern day or the next gen whatever you have of the Tomb Raider, where you go into temples. Unfortunately, there's not that many temples in this one compared to the first Uncharted. However, it is adequate, I suppose, and there are some puzzles in the temple, and just like the first one, they weren't really as difficult as they should have been, but it doesn't really take anything away, or it doesn't give anything to the gameplay experience overall. When dealing with the story, it's pretty solid, nothing impactful, nothing great. It's nothing that we haven't seen before. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's pretty much you're going after a stone, a Chintamani stone, and coincidentally enough, someone else is going after it, and you guys, you know, headbutt each other, and that's pretty much the whole entire plot. Add in some new characters here and there, and add in some more familiar faces, and you got yourself a pretty good Uncharted 2 storyline. So I was very pleased with the story. But if there was one thing to say about Uncharted 2, it has to be the action. You guys have been seeing cutscenes as well as some in-game footage, and it's very difficult to tell either one of them from apart. However, when you are in the action sequences, it's very, very action-packed. Some have gone as far as saying that this is pretty much a movie in a video game. And I have to agree. I mean, there are a lot of parts. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, I played it about 4 times already. And each and every time, I'm just awestruck of how action-packed. Like, there's almost never a dull moment. There is one chapter where it's pretty dull, but you can just take that as like a little break from all the action, because as soon as that chapter ends, the action starts right back up. So this is probably one of the most action-packed video games this year and this generation thus far.
We gotta get off this thing.
So there you have it, guys and gals, my top 3 picks for 2009 Voice of Reason's Game of the Year award. Now you guys are probably wondering, so which of these 3 great video games is actually worthy of my Voice of Reason's Game of the Year award? Well, just be sure to check out my Game of the Year award video coming up soon, where you guys will find out which of these games is my top pick for 2009. Till next time, guys, take care.